You have some expectations for yourself. You're trying to reach the goals you set for yourself. But there are always people that are distracting you, and they want, either subconsciously or consciously, to prevent you from reaching these goals. To set goals, you have to be self-determined, right? You have to think on your own, and then you decide what you want to reach in life. But to be self-determined does also mean that you have to be independent in your daily life. If there are still people that are deciding for you how long you need to stay at this kind of facility, is it your office, is it a school, is it at home, doesn't matter. There will be always people that feel like they having the duty to force you around just like they want to. Some exploit these kind of, like, the power they have, just following orders that are given to them too. So I give you an example. In my life, I often came to a kind of situation where I had something in mind that I want to do, but in order to get there, I thought maybe I should ask somebody else to, before I'm doing this, to prevent a kind of like a law break or something, you know? But guess what? I thought, why should I even bothering asking them, asking the responsible, when I knew in beforehand that if I'm doing it on my own, it will turn out the way I'm wanting it to. Because then I'm able to actually canalize my energy the way I want to. If you are constantly asking someone, they of course sometimes will give you the answer no. They don't even know it themselves. Just out of the reason they lack the ability and the energy and the mindset themselves. If you want to be independent in your mind, you have to step out of the regular, basic, linear, low effort, low grade mindset. Because the people that you have asked in the past for agreement, if you have asked for the ability to do something, if you have asked for device in the past, you most likely came across low grade and low effort mindsets. And until now, these people were responsible for your life. You don't know yet what you're capable of with the new mindset that you have developed. Because now, everything is possible. As long as you are willing to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. But this takes patience and time. You cannot change a belief of someone else just from today to tomorrow. You have to work extremely hard and beyond the level most of the people will be willing to work. Will, because they have a poor will, a poor mindset, and poor goals. They will never achieve what you are capable of achieving, because you have the mindset, you have the will. But this will needs to be trained every day, and you have to be patient by believing and to set more attention and consciousness into your life, to stick on this thing you want to change in your life. You want to change even beyond the imagination of the most people. You have to prove them wrong. You even have to prove yourself wrong. Because you yourself has adopted this mindset from everyone else. Because this mindset always needed to ask for something, has always needed to ask for agreement. And I hated it. And you are hating it too. Because you wanna be self-determined. You wanna self-improve. And therefore, you have the right mindset. You have the same mindset as me, and therefore you share the trait of fighting against limiting beliefs. Because especially these of people that are privileged enough to restrict our times. If you live next to a person, a teacher, a boss who can restrict your time, fuck him. Fuck him. He's a piece of trash and a piece of shit restricting your life. Wanna break out of his narrow cocoon like a butterfly. But to break out, you have to withstand your father telling you to do the dishes or the laundry kit. You have to withstand the teacher telling you should stay in school until 7 p.m. kid. You have to withstand the industry telling you, hey, buy this phone kid. You have to withstand all of these orders to be able to live truly to your own expectations. If you are willing to work for someone else, you're living up to their expectations. Get here at this time. Work until this and this time. Do this and this amount of work and hours a day. And then go home. But they have a limited perspective. And therefore their orders and their expectations are shallow. Just to stay alive. They wander and swander around, completely drained from media and all of these influences they don't even be aware of. Because they don't even care. They don't want to live a life in financial and mental freedom. They are gratified. And they can't see through this kind of gratification sunglasses. They can't see behind, and therefore they are not awakened yet. But I awakened you by telling you what you are capable of. And you are capable of so much more. You should be free, and you should be able to live on your own expectations. Because you are able to climb up in yourself by patience, willpower, and discipline. The tower, the wall that you are creating right now in this moment, while you are doing deep work, while you're doing affirmation and setting these goals and fixing these goals, and believing and putting energy into these goals, and investing time, effort, patience, all of this in your high value goals. Because you are doing all of this, you should not follow orders of shallow humans who doesn't even align with your purpose or the things you want to truly change in your life for the better, for positive. You should be able to do this. But the normal human nowadays isn't capable of this anymore. Because he's a follower. And he doesn't even dislike to be called a follower. He likes to be a sheep who gets guided from one gratification to the next. Because it doesn't take so much effort. It's much easier that way. And her bad past and experience are such good excuses for not doing the hard work. Wow. Great. You prevented yourself from being free. Now you are doomed to be an wagecock and slave of the government for your whole life. So remember one thing. Always push through pain. It's worth it.
Lesson number 2, don't get high on your own supply.
That's right. Lesson number 2, don't get high on your own supply. Because not everybody follows the rules. Huh?
The influencer doesn't get influenced. And the drug seller doesn't take his own drugs. This is a golden rule. Because otherwise, he will fall. If you are taking the drug that you are producing, you are dumb. But after you begin to produce, you realize how dumb you were in the past. Because now you can almost smell the freedom of being a provider. Watching this video right now will feel ironic. But you need to hear this first in order to grow and be mature and to be mature after it. I believe in you, but you don't believe in yourself yet. You're still convinced of a happy follower life, of a happy order taker life, of a happy wage-cock government slave life. You're still convinced that you can experience fullness, oneness within a life of a dependent man. You feel smart because you have consumed media for a decade now. That doesn't make you smart, bro. It makes you drained and illusional. But I will de-illusion you and I will awaken you by telling you that motivation is far and far more worth than knowledge. Because if you always think and never do, you will die without even having anybody even noticed you. You will die. How much worth is all of your knowledge, all of your ideas, all of you consume media, all of you consume TikTok, all of you consume memes worth? It's worth nothing. Because you underestimated the power of motivation and willpower. But yet under all these influences that you are currently having, you cannot break free. Because all of this media, all of these things that are taking your attention, time, and sucking from you, all of these are narrowing your view. You are not conscious yet, and therefore you don't have a broad view on what you have did in the past. I recognized all of my faults when everything in my life broke up. My family, my friends, my school, everything. It needed to be. Because I thought if I'm just doing the same over and over again, low effort as a kind of minimalistic approach of doing any kind of work, it will work out in the end. Hopefully. I can be happy without doing anything, just by following. But it didn't work. It could have worked. Actually, it could have. But unfortunately, I can see through the illusions now. I can see through these kind of shallow YouTubers and animations and memes and all of this crap because I've seen something really bad in my past. I've looked deep in my own soul. And I look deep in your soul. And I know what kind of bullshit and crap and unbelievable and nihilistic we have in ourselves. I experienced this kind of abuse of a young human brain. Because YouTube and Instagram and TikTok is exactly this. It's an abuse. It's an abuse of the unconsciousness of young humans who doesn't even own a full developed brain yet, but still are already forced to develop addictions. Yeah, it's numbing your pain. Yeah, it helps you getting through difficult times. Yeah, you can deal with boredom better. But is it really worth it? Do you still believe in the holiness of a painkiller? Bro, how down did you fall to actually believe in this kind of bullshit? And still watching instead of providing? Because this is the only way out of the rut. This is the only way. There's no other way, there's no way around, there's no shortcut. We are not in a video game. If you want to break out of the rut, you need to begin to produce, because then your sight broadens. Because then you know how to influence humans and what are influencing them and how to engage in a human brain. And most important, to engage in their feelings deep down in their brain, deep down at places where they're still a kid, easy to manipulate and force and push and pull, right? Not for me. I hate this. I hate seeing people doing this over and over and over and over again. But Big Brother industry gives a big fuck about you. But if you're not getting aware of this kind of constant, active manipulation, you will be enslaved for your whole life. Motivation is all it takes. The motivation to be free. Watch my guides, watch my other videos, and you will get more inspirations for what you can do and what you're capable of doing with this new mindset and your new abilities that you have achieved by pushing through pain. A man is a constant curve of improvement. But if improvement stops, he will get unhappy. His purpose will suffer, and therefore his whole person as a self. You will almost see it from outside how much he lacks purpose. He's not upright. He has a high-pitched voice and is as skinny as if he is still 10 years old. How should somebody like this be actually happy or proud of himself? It's so easy to break out the cycle. It only takes one choice. And this is dedicating yourself to self-improvement. This is not a joke, and this is not a beginning of a new revolution. No. It's a small thing, a small step. A small step for a human, but a big step for his whole life. Because a man has to take responsibilities at some point of their life. But now in the moment, while you are watching this video, do you think of your ancestors, your kids, your wife, how to provide value, your house, the family you are raising, your kids having kids? You're not aware of this. And this is a big problem, even though you still deny it. Even though you still have dubs. If you should like really take the step, if you like letting go of all of these kind of nice addictions and short-term gratification, this low effort life, it was so easy. Video games, porn, drugs, alcohol. And you should let go of all of this to dedicate yourself to something that's really hard and taking a lot of effort and hurt and even hurts, pain. You are a Jeffrey, bro. And if you want to be exceptional and something who can provide value, you need to learn and accept and emphasize and integrate it in your mindset that you need to push through pain in order to grow. There is where growth occurs, within the storm, within the fire of pain. Not in the numb, not in the painkillers. Soft core, soft porn, soft drugs, microdose. Microdose all of it. And you will experience shallowness, dispersal. And you will get enraptured. Hopefully you know this term as a not an English native. Enraptured. More and more and more enraptured, 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 enraptured. After every time you consumed a small piece of media, you get enraptured from your own self. When at some point you don't even know who you truly are anymore. Because you consumed so much of other people. You read so many literature of so many humans that you cannot even imagine who you are anymore. But what you actually are is a nobody. You don't have any cravings beside dispersing yourself and be anything besides yourself. You are a nobody. You only have prejudices and advantages, but you don't have a purpose and a family to provide for. Nobody who looks up to you. Nobody you can provide value to. Because this world is an easy world. You can be a nobody for your entire life. But do you want this? I'm convinced, and you're convinced, that you don't want to have this kind of life. And I said pretty harsh words and pretty badass, depressive kind of thoughts. But don't take this as an attack for your personality. Just use this kind of energy for improving. Trying small steps, step by step by step. Think of the 1% rule. Build kind of imaginary bridges from one island of improvement to the another. Don't stop. Don't stop and don't change your systems too often. Believe in yourself and help you by restricting you. Imprison yourself sometimes and take more responsibility of your own self. There you can find hope. Not outside, not in the outside world, not in your mom or your dad or your friend or in school or in your academy or your university. Hope you can find only in yourself. And your true self is hiding somewhere. But you can help him by writing, by journaling, by dedication, by deep work, by speaking out your doubts, your experiences, your advantages, your feelings. And I right now, right here, will promise you that this will help you by growing out of your old bad habits and your old bad self. You break out like the butterfly from the cocoon. Do it and push through the pain. Peace, bro.